You lot, I'm currently on my bed watching the Ballon d'Or stream. It's between Dembele and Lamine. This is crazy. I'm going to give you my live reaction. Let's see. It's the moment of truth now. He's going to say it. Ronaldinho. Dembele has won the Ballon d'Or. Ousmane Dembele's done it. Lamine Yamal in second, though, is insane. Wow. For a second, I thought, you know what? Lamine could pull this off. But it's Ousmane Dembele. We all saw it coming. Let's be honest. But honestly, this has been a mad night. Some mad results. I'm going to listen to his speech right now and then I'm going to come straight at you with my proper setup and do a whole review of this and also react to my predictions that I made literally yesterday. Crazy stuff. Well deserved. Well deserved, man. Fair play. Ousmane Dembele, Ballon d'Or winner. Who would have thought? Set your minds back to 2019, to 2020, to 2021, when this guy was nothing short of a laughingstock in football. People were abusing him. People were memeing him, making jokes, laughing every time he kicked a ball, calling him one of the biggest flops of all time. All of that is out of the window. He is the best football player in the world, and his name will forever be ingrained in the history of this sport, alongside the names of Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, Ronaldinho, who presented the trophy tonight. That you can never take it away from him. And fair play to Dembele, bro. Fair play. It's deserved. It is so deserved. And I'm honestly, for one, so happy to see his comeback and his resurgence. It's honestly been so good to see. This guy was once tipped to be one of the best players in the world. And at times it looked like he wasn't going to get there and realize the potential. But he's done it, bro. At 28 years of age, he's won the Champions League. He's won the league for his club. He's won the quadruple for his club. And he's the Ballon d'Or winner, and rightly so. So look, before we get into the top 30 shortlist and before we get into reviewing my predictions from yesterday, which is going to be very interesting, by the way, I got a few right, I got a few wrong, but we'll see that later. Firstly, let's just skim through all the awards just to recap. So we have got here, obviously, the first award to be announced was Lamine Yamal winning the Kopa trophy. So at least he didn't go home empty-handed. He got the Kopa trophy. And let's be honest, guys, it was a no contest. We knew that this would be the result, and no one was surprised. No one was surprised to see this. So Lamine Yamal, worthy winner of the Kopa trophy. Next, if we carry on, one thing I want to say is, obviously, I am not an avid watcher, or I'm not very educated on the women's game. I do watch the international tournaments. I will watch a few Chelsea games from here on then. I am quite tapped into the players. I can't really comment on the winners because I have not watched enough. I am not aware on enough. But I will say, before we get into the men's, I will say congratulations to Aitana Bonmati. I think this is her third Ballon d'Or win. Absolutely ridiculous. And as a Chelsea fan, thank you to the ladies for making us proud this year. We were nominated for Manager of the Year. Lucy Bronze and Hannah Hampton were in the top 10 best players, and Hannah Hampton won the Yashine Award, the first ever Women's Yashine Award, which honestly is crazy to say that she plays for Chelsea and she has also won that. She made history. She's the first ever one. So full credit. We can say now as Chelsea fans that we have the best goalkeeper in the world. So full credit to them. Full credit to Serena as well. Serena Wigman for winning the Women's Team Coach of the Year as well. For winning the Euros with England. Huge achievement. 2 years in a row. Or two competitions in a row now. They've held on to that title. So very good to see. Now here we go with the next men's award. Luis Enrique wins the Johan Cruyff Award. Again, kind of a no-brainer. We all saw this one coming. Donnarumma won the Yashine Award for the men's. And again, was a bit of a no-brainer. I love how when he picked up the award, they were cutting back to the PSG owner. What's his name again? Let me find his name. Anyways, they were cutting back to the owner. Obviously, we know they had their disagreements with the contract and stuff. There was a bit of tension there. But then again, when PSG won the Club of the Year, they cut to Donnarumma, and Donnarumma was smirking. It was a bit of banter, but it was good to see. And then, bro, the Gerd Müller trophy, genuinely, I forgot this was a thing. I didn't even make a prediction for it because I forgot it was a trophy. I genuinely forgot. But Gyökeres wins it, which I wouldn't have had him win it, to be honest. I would have probably given it to Lewandowski. But Gyökeres was above Lewandowski in the Ballon d'Or rankings, so it makes sense. I had Lewandowski quite above Gyökeres in my rankings. Arsenal were named Women's Club of the Year. Less said about that, the better. They won the Champions League, though, didn't they? PSG Club of the Year, like I said, honestly, we all knew this was going to happen. It's another no-brainer. They sweep tonight. And then we get onto the real deal. We get onto the Ballon d'Or, which went to Ousmane Dembele, as we all know. Now, this was really tense, bro. I'm not going to lie. This was really tense. We obviously knew the 30th all the way to the 11th, hours before we even found out the top 10 and the winner. So we already had a good idea of who maybe got snubbed, who maybe was getting into the top 10 that we maybe didn't expect. Cole Palmer being one of them. I didn't predict Cole Palmer in my top 10. I was close to putting him in 10th, but I ended up leaving him just out. I gave him an honourable mention. But it's good to see him get into the top 10 in 8th there. I do think it is deserved. I think, when you get to this level, so many different players have different cases, and it does just depend on who gets more votes, and the margins can be very thin. All fantastic players. Pedri out of the top 10 for me was an absolute disgrace. I would have had Pedri well into the top 10. Lewandowski 17th for me was very low. I definitely had him in my top 10. But come on, bro, to have him outside the top 15, below guys like Vinicius and even guys like Kvaratskhelia, I don't know, bro. Lewandowski really had a resurgence last year, and he was the main guy, bro, in Barcelona's attack. I mean, yeah, Lamine Yamal and Raphinha maybe had caught the headlines and had the better performances in the big games, but Lewandowski was there, bro, scoring 40 plus goals throughout the whole season, being such a huge contributor. I thought he warranted a bit higher. Harry Kane as well, I thought he was snubbed a little bit. But let's look at the full ranking. So here we have the full standings. Now, there's quite a lot to unpackage here. Wait, is this the full ranking? This isn't the full ranking. Erling Haaland was not 30th. Oh, they've done a bit of a mistake here. They put Erling Haaland at 30th when it was, in fact, Michael Olise. So if we just ignore that little typo, Erling Haaland should not be in 30. They've got him also in 26th, which is where he should be. 30th should be Michael Olise. I'm not going to spend too long on these places, but I think, honestly, from 30 to 20, I don't really have many complaints. I think Martinez for me would have been a little lower. Didn't win Serie A, bottled that. Ghosted again in the big game of the Champions League final. I would have had a player like Guirassy above him. I would have probably had Declan Rice above him. Van Dijk would have been above him. Who else? McTominay, seeing him in 18th is crazy. I don't think he should be above João Neves, but I think he has had a very good season. He deserves to be nominated. It's just crazy to see him up there. Lewandowski, like I said, I would not have him below guys like Vinicius, below guys like Gyökeres. Yeah, I think he got snubbed there a little bit. Desiree Doué, let's be real, guys. If he hadn't had that Champions League final performance, the guy might not even be nominated. But bro, he did have that performance. He definitely deserves to be nominated. 14th is a little high. I'm not gonna lie. 14th is a little high for me, but he had a very good season, his breakout year, and he also finished second in the Kopa Trophy, so it makes sense. Now here's where we get a bit questionable. Harry Kane should have been in the top 10 for me. Why does it keep sending me to this ad, bro? I had to stop highlighting. Anyways, Harry Kane for me, snubbed. Kvaratskhelia for me, quite high. I mean, obviously, PSG tax had a great season for them. Only joined in January. I think a player like João Neves, even a player like Desiree Doué, maybe not Desiree Doué, but I think Desiree Doué and João Neves contributed more to PSG over the course of the season than Kvaratskhelia. Kvaratskhelia might be a more complete player, but I think in terms of a season, I think João Neves especially, bro, probably should be up there. And same with Desiree Doué. But yeah, I would probably move Kvaratskhelia down a little bit. But my real issue here is Pedri, bro. How is Pedri not making a top 10? How is Pedri not making the top 10? For me, he's the best midfielder in the world. And yeah, Vitinha had a crazy season last year. But bro, Pedri, outside of the top 10, mental. Anyways, now we get into the top 10. We've got Nuno Mendes, Gianluigi Donnarumma, and Cole Palmer. All very good players. Obviously, you have the PSG tax for Nuno Mendes and Donnarumma. But still, they deserve to be there. Wonderful players. Cole Palmer, as I said, I'm a Chelsea fan, so I'm going to be biased with this. I don't care. But I've watched him week in, week out. Yes, he had that blip, but it really wasn't as big of a slump as people make it out to be. People make it out to be like he ghosted for the whole season or for half the season. No, he was world class from August all the way to January. The best I've ever seen of Palmer, genuinely. Then, when Jackson got injured and there was a bit more instability in the squad, the whole squad went on a run of bad form from around February to, I'd say, April. Yeah, Palmer wasn't at his best, but towards the end of that run, towards the end of the season, yeah, he might not have been bagging goals week in, week out like he usually does in the Prem, but he was certainly contributing a lot more. That performance against Liverpool, which we won, yeah, he scored a penalty, but forget about the penalty, bro. The guy was our best player by far that game, and he was running the attack. And yeah, he definitely deserves to be there, let alone the final of the Conference League and also the Club World Cup performances. Crazy stuff. He should be in there. Kylian Mbappe in seventh is very low for me. It's very low. I think individually he had a magnificent season. Yeah, team-wise he wasn't the most successful, but I think he should have been a bit higher. Hakimi is pretty bang on for me. Raphinha is low, bro. Raphinha for me should have been in the top two. I think Raphinha's been snubbed a little bit here. I think he'll feel harshly done it. I feel like he will be feeling that way. But anyways, we move on. Salah for me is in a good spot here. Vitinha, bro. Vitinha's a class player. Let me not underplay Vitinha, bro. But genuinely, I don't think he makes top 5 for me. I don't even think he makes top 7. I mean, we'll see my predictions later. But no discredit to Vitinha. No discredit to Vitinha. I think obviously when it's centre mid, you can get biased a little more because he doesn't capture the headlines as much. He doesn't score the goals. He does kind of more the dirty work. Vitinha, bro, full credit to you. Lamine Yamal second, Ousmane Dembele in first. This was crazy, bro. When I realised, wow, it's going to really be a battle between Dembele and Lamine Yamal when Raphinha was put in fifth, because initially I thought it would be between Raphinha and Dembele. I was like, there was a moment of doubt in my mind. Bro, is Lamine Yamal about to win the Ballon d'Or at 18 years of age? I genuinely had a moment of doubt. And then until Ronaldinho said Ousmane Dembele, and yeah, I expected it. I did. But honestly, bro, it was a pretty good ceremony. Very good night. The presenters were great. The interviews with the players were great. May I just say, though, Dembele, what a classy guy, man. What a classy man. The guy's interview, honestly, made me emotional just listening to it, bro. Talking about his mom coming up on stage. Bro, this is what football's about. These moments are what it's all about, man. Seeing the emotion in the highest moments, having had to deal with the lowest of the lows in their career, now being able to celebrate with their family, with their teammates. It's just great to see. And this is what it's all about, bro. I love these type of interviews where we get to see a more emotional side of the player at their highest as well. And it's really good to see. Yeah, that will go down in the history books in terms. I wish it was in English so I could have understood it a little bit better. I mean, I had to try to resurrect my French GCSE skills to try and comprehend it, but I could tell he was putting passion behind that. And I mean, who wouldn't, bro? It's the Ballon d'Or. All right, so enough of that. Now let's go more into depth, into my opinion and my pre-ceremony predictions. Because I did these yesterday. I made a video on it yesterday. This has not been altered at all. This has not been changed. You can go back and watch the video. I'm going to be giving my debrief and my thoughts on the whole ceremony and the rankings. So let's just start off with the smaller awards. Obviously, Men's Club of the Year went to PSG. I predicted that correctly, but I can't really take credit for that. You could have probably asked someone who never watched football in their life. They don't even have to be alive, bro. You could ask some Viking, like, in their grave, who's going to win the trophy? It's going to be PSG. Come on. Same with men's Johan Cruyff trophy, Luis Enrique, 2 for 2. But again, men's Yashine trophy, again, 3 for 3. I'm getting these right, but again, bro, it's like, I can't even think of an analogy, bro. It's like saying shoot the target, but the target is the size of the Empire State Building. Like, come on. Men's Kopa trophy, I will give myself a bit of credit for this because although, yes, Lamine Yamal was the favourite and everyone kind of expected him to win, I'm pretty sure I got the whole top 3 right. João Neves in third and Desiree Doué in second. I haven't really checked the top 3 for the Yashine trophy, which I predicted. I'll probably check that later. But I'm happy with getting all of these right. So from what I know right now, maybe I got some of the Yashine trophy 2 and 3 mixed up. But for now, bro, I've got every single prediction right. Now, that's not going to carry on because I'm sure, as you can see here, the men's Ballon d'Or ranking is slightly off. Now, let's compare where I went wrong, where I went right. So look at my honourable mentions. These are players who I felt like I was sort of snubbing or being a bit harsh on, not including the top 10, but they just didn't quite make the cut for me. You have João Neves, Nuno Mendes, Doué, Donnarumma, sort of the PSG bunch that didn't make it through. And then you've got Cole Palmer and Declan Rice. Some honourable mentions. Obviously, I'm a Premier League watcher, so I know I've got better opinion to speak highly about them than other players. But yeah, out of these honourable mentions though, the 3 players, I believe, the 3 players that made it into the top 10 that I didn't predict to be in the top 10 were in my honourable mentions. So I'll take that. I will take that. Nuno Mendes was in 10, Donnarumma was in 9, and Cole Palmer was in 8. So I'm happy with that. Rice was very low though, too low for me. Doué was alright. And João Neves was a bit low for me. But let's get into the top 10. Vitinha at 10. A lot of you guys are going to be thinking, how is he this low? And yeah, I have predicted him 7 below where he finished at 3rd place. Again, like I say, maybe it's a little bit of bias to do with midfielders and not rating them as high as they deserve. But honestly, looking back on it, you cannot deny the role he had, as I've written here, in the UCL run. But just the run in general. They won the quadruple, man. And this guy was the glue. He was the entire system, bro. This guy was genuinely flowing around games, floating. This guy was playing like such a natural. And it looks like he's been an established world-class player for decades now. This guy looks like the best of the best. And he is the best of the best. So I might have snubbed him a little bit here. I still stand by this though. 9th I've got Harry Kane. I still stand by this. This is incredibly harsh to not have Harry Kane in the top 10, bro. 26 goals, 8 assists, like I said, 11 UCL goals. Finally won his Bundesliga. This guy, bro, just keeps on proving that age is just a number. He's getting older, but I don't think we're realizing that he's getting older. He is genuinely competing at such a high level. We're just taking the fact that this guy's been at the top of the game for a decade now for granted. He is, for me, the 2nd best striker in the world. I mean, if you include Mbappe and Dembele as strikers, then maybe he's a bit below. But as a full-on number 9, bro, as you can see in this ranking, he's number 2 for me. Only below Lewandowski, who we'll speak on about in a second. So I think Harry Kane got snubbed here. And I think he's quite disrespected as a whole, Harry Kane. In 8th, you've got Pedri. I've already made my opinion known. It's an absolute disgrace, an absolute violation of his rights that he was not in the top 10. I've only predicted him 3 points off. He finished in 11th. I put him in 8th. But this guy, for me, is the best midfielder in the world. Was the best midfielder in the world last season still, even without the trophies. And maybe, yeah, that's the deciding factor between him and Vitinha. But is there really 8 spots between Pedri and Vitinha? Between 11th and 3rd? I don't think so, bro. I think it's much closer than that. And yeah, if you want to put Vitinha 1 or 2 above him, I'm fine with that. Especially for last year. But Pedri, for me, man, I think he deserves more respect. Let's carry on though. Lewandowski, for me, is the most disrespected man out of anyone here. What an absolute shambles having this guy in 17th. And I'm not just saying that because I predicted him to be much higher just for the sake of my prediction. I genuinely believe where I put him at. The guy had such a good comeback here. He proved so many people wrong. Even more than Harry Kane, he proved that age is just a number. And he was just defying physics, bro. He was defying what we know about the human body. And this guy, he's earned himself a unanimous spot as Barca's striker for this year. Yeah, they've signed Rashford, but this guy is still Barca's main guy up top. It's insane, bro. It's insane. He's going to be turning 38. 38, bro. We're reaching territory of the age that Ronaldo was when he went to Al Nassr. And we all praise Ronaldo, rightly so, for his longevity. But Lewandowski is doing it a whole lot differently, bro. This guy will look back on him as one of the best of all time, especially in this position. Moving on to Hakimi, this is the first guy that got bang on, 6th. He deserved it. They gave it to him. I gave it to him. I don't think he was good enough for a top 5. Position tax maybe, but I mean, he was the captain to the best team in the world. That has got to warrant you somewhere. Goal in the Champions League final. Just invaluable, or what's the word? Priceless impact. You could not pay for someone with that impact that Hakimi had. It transcended just the pitch. Lamine Yamal, I've written his same reasons, but same reasons as the Kopa trophy. So, I mean, look, I did underpredict him. Honestly, you could put him anywhere in the top 5 between 5th and 2nd, and I probably would have been quite happy with it. I would not have any objections. I just think the guy didn't have the most consistent output from August till May. Now, the whole season for me, I don't think he had enough consistency, enough ruthless consistency to be the best player in the world. That takes a lot. And I think with just a bit more maturity, a bit more consistency, like I said, more experience, more development of his talents, bro, this guy will win however many Ballon d'Ors he wants to win. But for me, he just came short this year. Mo Salah in fourth. That's my second prediction that I've got bang on. He finished fourth. Again, I think if we were just talking about league performances alone, this guy would be number one unanimously, I think. But elsewhere is where he let himself down. Champions League, wasn't on it. Carabao Cup final, definitely wasn't on it, let them down there. But bro, we can't forget that his Premier League performances matter quite a lot more than a lot of other. Whatever you want to say about it, the Premier League is 38 games. It's the majority of the football season for most of these guys. And he kept up such an incredibly consistent level throughout. So he deserves that top four. Mbappe in third, he finished seventh. I thought he got disrespected quite a little bit. I don't think he was the seventh best player in the world. I think he was the third best player in the world. And yeah, the team's successes don't match up to the guys around him. But bro, individually, I'm sorry, this was the third best player in the world. In fact, individually, purely, I think for the second half of the season especially, he might have just been the best. And yeah, the team performances are what definitely lets him down. It definitely limits him from being top two. That's for sure. But what a ridiculous player he is. He still had his moments. The goals against City in the Champions League, goals in El Clasico. Obviously, he also had some downsides in some of those El Clasico games as well. So it wasn't a perfect season by any means for Mbappe. Not a Ballon d'Or worthy season. But it was a base. It was a base that he can definitely build on for this next season. And it looks like he's going to do that. Raphinha in second. Yeah, I think a lot of people were hyping up this two battle between Raphinha and Dembele. And it wasn't to be, but I still stand by what I think that Raphinha was more consistent throughout the season than Lamine Yamal, especially in the Champions League. I mean, the guy was just ridiculous, scoring goals, assisting, won the Golden Boot in the competition. So for me, Raphinha deserved to be at least top three, man. Like fifth is genuinely quite low for me for Raphinha. Especially his moments in big games and the fact that he had really good team successes domestically for Barcelona. So I think he's been a little bit disrespected there. But yeah, he wasn't going to win it for me because the winner for me was Ousmane Dembele. I've got that bang on. And yeah, look, a lot of people agreed with me. A few people also disagreed. A few people thought Raphinha deserved it. A few people were talking about Lamine Yamal deserving it. A few people were talking about Salah. There were people talking about Mbappe. There's people on every corner. But I stuck by Dembele. I just genuinely think, I mean, look, a team who wins the quadruple and the Champions League final 5-0 deserves to have the Ballon d'Or winner. I look at that team. Who was the most consistent player throughout? Who was scoring them goals in the Champions League semi-final against Arsenal? Who was digging them out of games and ties where they looked beaten or they looked like finally someone got the better of them? It was Dembele. Who was the leader? Who looked the most motivated? Who looked the most hungry? It was Dembele, bro. This guy just genuinely was a different player when you were watching him play this season. He didn't look like Dembele, bro. He looked like Dembele. But this is the real Dembele. He didn't look like the fake Dembele that we were watching at Barcelona. This was the real Dembele. And I'm glad that we finally got to see the real Dembele because I have been waiting for this. And a lot of us have been. And it's really good to see. Deserved. And I'm happy for him. Like I said, very classy guy. Took the award very well, very humbly. And yeah, I hope he carries on to this season. Yeah. Now that I think about it, bro, how was he at the ceremony? I thought he was playing with PSG. I've just realised that. Did he just run from the game to the ceremony to take? I think he might have done that. Now I've just realised, bro, the guy literally was playing against Marseille. They lost, by the way, 1-0. Did he just cut to the ceremony? Because then I saw Doué there as well. And João Neves. They must have all just arrived. Fair play. I thought they weren't going to be there, but I just remember they were. But yeah. Good stuff. A very good night for football. And congratulations to everyone who won awards on the men and the women's side. And yeah, let's see who wins it next year. Comment down your thoughts on the Ballon d'Or. Comment down your thoughts on my predictions and also who you predicted to win. Do you think Dembele deserved it? Do you think Lamine Yamal deserved it? But yeah, like and subscribe, and I'll see you lot in a bit.